wrote beside the chair. I thought the evening had found its end. Then you smiled and leaned back slowly and told me what happened to an old friend. I forgot that I was meant to be going, and listened until you reached the end. Nothing was waiting beyond that door. Nothing could matter more just then. So I stayed where the light was gentle, while your words wandered where they would. There was nowhere my heart was asking to be anywhere else if it could. Sometimes time becomes almost weightless when being together feels this good. You stopped halfway through a sentence, trying to remember somebody's name. We laughed when it finally came to you, and somehow another memory came. I watched your hands settle on the table and felt no need to hurry away. So I stayed where the light was gentle, while your words wandered where they would. There was nowhere my heart was asking to be anywhere else if it could. Sometimes time becomes almost weightless when being together feels this good. Maybe nothing important happened, nothing anyone else would recall, but I knew by the ease between us I had nowhere better to go at all. I stayed while the room grew quieter and your words softened near the end. There was nowhere my heart was asking to be but beside you again. Sometimes time becomes almost weightless when you're happy with where you have been. Mentioned it once in passing on an ordinary afternoon. Something small about my father and a song he used to choose. I never thought you'd keep it with you. It was only a passing thought. Then months later, in conversation, you brought it gently back to me. I smiled before I could answer, surprised by the care in your words of all the things we had spoken. You carry this one along. Some things seem small when we say them, until someone quietly holds on. There were louder days between us, and 100 things we discussed, names dreams and plans we soon forgot about. Little changes in both of us, still that one unfinished memory had somehow stayed clear in your mind. I smiled before I could answer, surprised by the care in your words, of all the things we had spoken. You carried this one along. Some things seem small when we say them, until someone quietly holds on. You didn't know what it gave me, or why I grew quiet just then. I only knew I felt closer than I had a moment before. I smiled and let you keep talking, while something grew warm inside, of all the things we had spoken. That small one had stayed by your side. Some things become more important when someone remembers with care. We started with something ordinary, a story neither meant to tell. Then one thought opened into another, and somehow the evening settled well. Your voice grew softer between the stories, but neither of us moved to leave. The world could carry on without us for a little while longer there. The hours slipped by unnoticed while we talked and sometimes said nothing. There was comfort in every silence, and no need to hurry it through. I only knew the night felt warmer, sitting there and listening to you. At some point the room became quieter, and fewer voices filled the air. You smiled at something I remembered, then let the silence linger there. It never felt like we were waiting. There was simply nowhere else to be. The hours slipped by unnoticed while we talked and sometimes said nothing. There was comfort in every silence, and no need to hurry it through. I only knew as the words we said. The evening moved on around us, while our conversation wandered slow. There was comfort in every silence, and no reason yet to let it go. I only knew the night felt warmer for having nowhere else to go. Everyone had finished talking, but you noticed I had not. I had started telling something, then another voice had crossed. You looked back across the room then and asked me where I'd left it off. It was such a simple kindness, you may not remember now. You waited until I was ready and gave every word its place. Never hurried me toward an ending, never looked the other way. Sometimes care is almost silent, but you feel it all the same. So I finished what I'd started, taking longer than I thought. You were quiet when I needed, and you smiled when I got lost. Nothing in the story mattered half as much as how you stayed. You waited until I was ready and gave every word its place. Never hurried me toward an ending, never looked the other way. Sometimes care is almost silent, but you feel it all the same. I have forgotten many answers and the words from other days, but I still remember clearly how you let me take my time. You listened until I was finished, with that easy, patient grace. Never hurried me toward an ending, never turned the moment away. Sometimes care needs almost nothing, just a little time and space. There was an empty chair beside me when you came. join the others, but you chose that place again. We talked about the smallest things, as though we had all afternoon. I never asked you why you chose it, I was simply glad you did. There you were beside me, close enough to hear you smile. Nothing needed to be special, nothing needed to arrive. Somewhere in those easy minutes, ordinary felt worthwhile. Someone opened up the doorway, cool air moved across the room. You pulled your chair a little closer, making space for someone through. Then return to what you'd started, like we'd never lost the thread. There you were beside me, close enough to hear you smile. Nothing needed to be special, nothing needed to arrive. Somewhere in those easy minutes, ordinary felt worthwhile. Years may change the rooms around us and the places where we meet. Still, I think I'll always notice when there's room beside my seat. There you were beside me, as the afternoon grew still. Nothing needed to be special, nothing asked us to move on. Somewhere in those easy minutes, I was happy where we were. I was telling you about Tuesday and a call I nearly made. How I stood outside the station with a dozen things to say. I lost my way halfway through it, but you never filled the space. You just waited there beside me until the words came back again. You let me take the long way to the thing I meant to say, never reaching for the answer, never hurrying me away. And somehow being listened to made the whole day feel okay. patient through the pauses, even when I got it wrong. By the time I reached the ending, the weight of it was almost gone. You let me take the long way to the thing I meant to say, never reaching for the answer, never hurrying me away, and somehow being listened to made the whole day feel okay. I don't know if you remember everything I told you then, but I remember how you waited when I had to start again. You let me take the long way, and you stayed until I knew there was nothing left unfinished, nothing more I had to prove. Sometimes all a heart is asking is a little time with you. Almost full. You moved your things without me asking, and pulled a chair beside your own. You kept on with the conversation, as if you'd saved that place for me. It took no more than a moment, but somehow I remembered it. You made a little room beside you, like it was the easiest thing. No announcement, no attention, just a quiet welcoming. Some kindness, never asked for notice. Still it changes everything. Someone passed a plate between us. You made sure it reached my hands, then returned to what you'd started, telling me about your plans. Nothing in the room had altered, still I felt more settled there. You made a little room beside you, like it was the easiest thing. No announcement, no attention, just a quiet welcoming. Some kindness, never asked for notice. Still it changes everything. Maybe you had long forgotten before the evening reached its end, but small things made a little room beside you, and I found my place with ease. No announcement, no attention, nothing more than what I needed. Some kindness, never asked for notice. Still it stays in memory. I told you about the broken handle on the drawer beside my bed, and how the neighbor's little garden had turned green again. None of it was worth remembering. Still you listened to every word. You never waited for a bigger story. You were happy with the one I had. You stayed for all the small things, the pieces no one else would keep, a name I nearly had forgotten, a thought that wandered incomplete. And somehow in your quiet listening, they meant a little more to me. I showed you an old folded letter, though there wasn't much to see. You asked me who had written it and what those words had meant to me. We let the smallest recollection take all the time it seemed to need. You stayed for all the small things, the pieces no one else would keep, a name I nearly had forgotten, a thought that wandered incomplete. And somehow in your quiet listening, they meant a little more to me. Maybe life is mostly moments, too ordinary to explain, but they become a little brighter when someone wants to hear them all. You stayed through all the small things and never asked for something more. A memory without an ending, a story heard somewhere before. And somehow in your quiet listening, they mattered more than they had before. Halfway through, I started smiling. I had heard it months before, but I never tried to stop you. I like the way you told it then. Some stories change a little each time they find their way back home. So I listen like the first time to every turn you wanted there, to the parts you still remember and the ones you changed somewhere. It wasn't really about the story, I just liked having you there. This time the road was somewhat longer, and the old house had a gate. You laughed when you forgot the ending, then remembered it too late. I knew the ending before you reached it. Still I waited for every word. So I listened like the first time to every turn you wanted there, to the parts you still remembered and the ones you changed somewhere. It wasn't really about the story, I just liked having you there. Maybe someday I'll repeat it with the details rearranged, and you'll let me reach the ending, though you've heard it all before. I listen like the first time. If you tell it once again, to every part you still remember and the places memory bends. It was never only the story, it was time we got to spend. Someone said it might be getting late, but nobody reached for the door. You finished the story you'd started, then someone remembered one more. I watched the evening gather softly, while every chair stayed where it was. There was no reason we were staying, except that no one wished to go. Before anyone stood up to leave, story began. A quiet nothing was holding us together. We simply liked where we had been. The cups had long been sitting empty. The room had settled into calm. Someone asked about tomorrow. Someone else went slowly on. We spoke of things that hardly mattered, and somehow that was quite enough. Before anyone stood up to leave, another little story began. A quiet laugh went around the table and gave us a few minutes again. Nothing was holding us together. We simply liked where we had been. Soon enough we'd find our way home, back to everything we knew. But for a little while, much longer, there was nothing else to do. Before anyone stood up to leave, we let one final story begin. A quiet laugh stayed there between us and gave us a few minutes again. Nothing was asking us to linger. We simply wanted to remain. You asked me how my brother was. The weeks had passed since we had talked. You remembered he was moving and the little place he'd bought. I had almost missed the kindness hidden in a question asked. Then I realized you had carried that small detail all this time. You asked me once again about something I had said before. Not because you had to know it, you simply wanted to know more. And a question asked so gently made me feel a little known. I told you he was doing better, that the boxes were unpacked, that he'd finally hung the picture he had kept for years out back. You smiled as though the answer was something you were glad to hear. You asked me once again about something I had said before. Not because you had to know it, you simply wanted to know more. And a a question asked so gently made me feel a little known. There are things we barely notice when somebody first explains, until another person carries them and brings them home again. You asked me once again, and I told you how things were. Nothing large had happened, nothing needed to occur, but a question asked so gently made the whole evening feel warmer. Getting out that evening, everything had taken more time. I thought you'd probably gone already, so I hurried down the stairs. Then I saw you by the doorway, reading something while you waited. You looked up as I came toward you, like there was no need to explain. I knew you'd wait a little longer, though I never asked you to. You made patience look so easy, like the simplest thing to do, and the evening felt much softer walking out of there with you. I apologized for keeping you. You said it hadn't been that long. Then you told me what you'd noticed while the people passed along. We took our time across the sidewalk with no reason to move fast. I knew you'd wait a little longer, though I never asked you to. You made patience look so easy, like the simplest thing to do, and the evening felt much softer walking out of there with you. Maybe waiting isn't nothing when somebody chooses to stay. Sometimes what we most remember is who didn't walk away. Somehow I knew it was true. You made patience look so easy without making much of it, and the evening felt much softer simply walking there with you. settled back beside me and returned to where we left off. We had nowhere else to hurry, so I wrapped my hands around the cup. Another story found its way in before either of us could leave. The last cup stayed warm between us while the evening wandered on. We kept finding things to talk of after every thought seemed gone. Nothing asked us to keep sitting. Still neither of us moved along. Told me about an old neighbor. I remembered someone too. One small memory led to another, as they always seem to do. Every time the room grew quiet, something brought me back to you. Cup stayed warm between us while the evening wandered on. We kept finding things to talk of after every thought seemed gone. Nothing asked us to keep sitting. Still neither of us moved along. Soon the cup would lose its warmth and we would finally say goodnight. But neither one of us was ready to be the first to end the time. The last cup stayed warm between us as our voices softened low. We kept finding one more memory neither wanted yet to close. Nothing asked us to keep sitting. We just weren't quite ready to go. I was halfway through a memory when I stopped and lost the thread. You waited while I searched for it, then smiled at what I said. I thought the little part was gone until it came to me again. You never tried to fill the silence. You simply gave the moment time. Then one small detail came returning, something I had nearly lost. The way the doorway stood half open, the words somebody softly spoke. It wasn't much to anyone else, but you stayed. stayed until I found it. I told you why it still remained somewhere quietly in my mind. You listened without turning the memory into something grand, and somehow saying it aloud made that old moment warm again. Then one small detail came returning, something I had nearly lost. The way the doorway stood half open, the words somebody softly spoke. It wasn't much to anyone else, but you stayed until I found it. Some memories arrive slowly when nobody asks them to. Maybe they return more easily when someone waits with you. That small detail came returning, and I let the memory stay. Nothing needed to be larger than the little thing I saved. It wasn't much to anyone else, but you listened all the way. You laid your coat across the chair, as if we still had time to spare. I noticed how you settled in and started telling me about your day. The smallest things became a story when neither of us watched the hour. I thought we'd only stay a moment, then another moment came. Your coat stayed resting on the chair, and neither of us reached for it. We let the conversation wander anywhere it wanted to. There was something in that evening that made staying easy to do. You told me something that had happened on your way there in the rain. I remembered something similar, and we began to laugh. share, and neither of us reached for it. We let the conversation wander anywhere it wanted to. There was something in that evening that made staying easy to do. Soon enough we'd have to leave there. That was always understood. Still we gave the night a little longer, simply because we could. Your coat stayed resting on the chair as our voices softened low. We let the final story wander without asking where it would go. There was something in that evening that made neither want to go. Your phone was lying on the table, face down beside your hand. We had talked through half the evening without making any plans. Someone mentioned it was getting late. You only smiled and carried on. I noticed you were in no hurry, and somehow neither was I. You didn't look at the clock, you just stayed inside the moment. Let each little story finish. Let the quiet come and go. There was something warm in knowing you had nowhere else to be. We talked about a place we once knew and the people passing through. You remembered how the doorway looked. I remembered something too. Every pause became so natural. We never had to fill the room. You didn't look at the clock, you just stayed inside the moment. Let each little story finish. Let the quiet come and go. There was something warm in knowing you had nowhere else to be. Maybe time feels different when no one wants it to move fast. We never tried to hold the evening, we simply let it last. You never looked toward the clock as our voices settled low. Let the final final story finish. Let the quiet come and go. There was something warm in knowing neither one was ready to go. Finished what we'd planned to say, at least an hour before. Still another thought kept finding us before we reached the door. You told me something from your childhood I had never heard before. The evening never asked for much, it simply stayed a little more. And somehow the evening stayed while one more memory came through. Nothing needed to be happening, I was simply there with you. Every minute felt unhurried, like the night had nowhere to go. Outside the street grew quieter, someone turned a light down low. You remembered an old teacher and a place you used to know. I listened as the story wandered, without wondering when we'd go. And somehow the evening stayed while one more memory came through. Nothing needed to be happening, I was simply there with you. Every minute felt unhurried, like the night had nowhere to go. We weren't trying to keep the moment or make it more than it had been. We just let the time stay open for another thought to begin. And somehow the evening stayed as our voices settled low. Nothing needed to be happening, there was nowhere else to go. Every minute felt unhurried, and we let the evening stay. You said there was one more story you had almost saved for another day. Something that happened years ago on a trip you rarely mentioned. I leaned back and let you tell it while the room grew quiet around us. We could have left a little earlier, but neither of us seemed to mind. You saved the last story for later, then gave it to the evening instead. I listened as each little detail found its way into your head. There was nowhere I wanted to hurry, while you still had something to say. You stopped to remember a street name, then laughed when it finally came. The people were harder to picture, but you still remembered the rain. I watched the years return around you as you slowly found your way. You saved the last story for later, then gave it to the evening instead. I listened as each little detail found its way back into your head. There was nowhere I wanted to hurry, while you still had something to say. Some stories wait for the right moment, and someone willing to remain. Maybe all they ever needed was a little unhurried space. You gave the last story to the evening, and I stayed until it was through. Every small forgotten detail found its quiet way back to you. There was nowhere I wanted to hurry, while I could still listen to you. We knew the evening had grown late, the room was nearly still. You gathered up the things beside you, then sat back down again. There was one thought you hadn't finished, and I wanted to hear the rest. We both knew we'd leave eventually, just not quite yet. Before we finally left, we gave the night a little longer. One more thought, one quiet answer, one more reason just to stay. Nothing tried to hold us there, we simply weren't in any haste. You found your coat and I found mine, and neither reached the door. We laughed about how many times we'd almost left before. The room around us had grown quieter, but everything still felt warm. Before we finally left, we gave the night a little longer. One more thought, one quiet answer, one more reason just to stay. Nothing tried to hold us there, we simply weren't in any haste. they simply soften into memory. When enough good time has passed before we finally left, we let the silence stay between us. No more stories were required, nothing more we had to say. Nothing tried to hold us there. We were simply glad we'd stayed. Finally stepped outside together. The street had settled for the night. You turned the corner where you always did and waved beneath the light. I started down the road toward home, still thinking of the things we'd said. Nothing followed me but quiet and the warmth the evening left. The walk home felt a little shorter, though I took the usual way. Good hours travel with you after everyone has gone. I wasn't wishing to go backward, I was simply glad I'd stayed. The windows passed me one by one, a few were still awake. I remembered how you laughed at some small story I had made. There was nothing I needed to keep. The memory came along itself. The walk home felt a little shorter, though I took the usual way. Maybe good hours travel with you after everyone has gone. I wasn't wishing to go backward, I was simply glad I'd stay. Some nights leave you wanting nothing, nothing missing, nothing more. Just a quiet kind of happiness you can carry through the door. The walk home felt a little shorter as the night grew calm and still. All the hours we'd spent together stayed beside me for